The story of NuTone central vacuums has always been a story of that's good enough. NuTone started out in the 1970s. They had been around for decades before that, but in the 70s they added a built-in vacuum to their line of bathroom exhaust fans and intercom systems and doorbells, etc., that were always sold through supply houses, like electrical supply houses was where you bought these products. So they were oftentimes put into usually new construction by somebody who wasn't doing central vacs day in and day out. In other words, somebody that maybe wasn't as familiar with why you do things a certain way, why you don't do things a certain way, what makes one product better than another. It's just, good enough. It works, and here's your bill, and have a great day. The product itself was always a durable enough product, just not the best that you could get up until the early 2000s, and that was when NuTone switched from the white metal machines and the red metal ones they made before then to the red and gray plastic units. In the early 2000s they came out with the VX series, kind of oval design with a no-name motor that had thermal overload protector problems, an overly complicated circuit board, plastic housing, weird goofy bag setup that was just a real handful. Or you could get the cyclonic unit that would leak dirt like a sieve, and the motors were filthy all the time. I thought it was one of the worst central vacuums on the market in the early mid 2000s. Well, I think NuTone heard me and they said, hold my beer. And probably 5 years ago or so, they came out with this line, the NuTone PurePower. And it is a hybrid. That doesn't mean it's gas and electric. That means that you can use it with or without a disposable bag. And a lot of manufacturers are going that direction. And they have gone back to a metal housing. It's thin sheet metal, but it's, thick enough. The intake is on the back. So to accommodate that, the machine has to sit a couple inches away from the wall. So not the most stable mounting. It does have a reversible intake, so you undo the nuts, you flip this around, and then the pipe can come in on this side. There's no onboard utility valve, so if you want one, you have to add it. I do think they give you one with the machine. Plastic bucket, plastic top with the exhaust up out the center, and this unclips to reveal an exhaust filter. So this is HEPA filtered. The air coming out of the machine will be nice and clean, but you really don't want to put a filter like this after the motor for reasons that will become clear. So you've got a foam pre-filter and sound suppressor, and on the side you have more foam. It's a nice quiet unit. If you hear one running, it has a characteristic shrillness that belies the fact that this motor is itsy bitsy teeny weeny, and it is not wearing a yellow polka dot bikini. It's the size of a motor in a portable vacuum cleaner, in a built-in. That's supposed to have a bigger, stronger motor. That's part of the idea. Well, how do you get good suction and good performance specs out of a little tiny motor? You run it really fast, 35,000 RPM. Which limits the life. The motor life, even when this is getting an extremely clean airstream, is only several hundred hours. And when it's getting dirt bypassing the filters and getting in there, well, it's less than that. And then when you add filtration on the exhaust, then you're introducing a restriction, you're trapping heat, the motor's running hotter, it's just going to burn itself out in no time. Now this has a warranty. NuTone has gotten really good at shipping out products under warranty because of failures like this, but I just think it could have been done a little better. And the hybrid design once again refers to the fact that you can use this with or without a disposable bag. Without a disposable bag means the dirt goes into the bucket here where you dump it out, and this is your filter. This is your only filter before the motor. And it's a nice idea not having to buy bags, but when you have dirt coming through the motor like you saw, that to me means that the disposable bag is not optional. If this had been used with a disposable bag, it's probably would still be running, but The fact that it was sold as a hybrid machine that you didn't have to use a disposable bag means that they were not using this improperly, and yet it still failed. And you can see, if we pull this filter out, this is the dirty side of the filter. But if I flip it over, that's the clean side of the filter. Look at that. All this dirt was then exposed and able to go up into the motor. And I'm mistaken. So before the motor, you do have one last foam filter. So I take back what I said about there being no more filtration besides this before the motor. But obviously that foam did not do a whole lot of good. I appreciate NuTone's position in the market. I appreciate that they're not trying to be the best and the Cadillac of built-in vacuums. And I appreciate the fact that maybe some houses have built-in vacuums that wouldn't otherwise have them thanks to NuTone's distribution. And then we can always just go and switch their unit for a better one. But if you're looking at Central Vacs and you're comparing brand to brand, you can get better for your money.